All right, students, the point of this video is to sort of get the idea that some word problems we have are going to be more than two steps, and this one's going to take us a couple more than that, than the last one we did to figure out how to get to a final answer. So let's take a look at this one. It says a group of volunteers buys 32 cartons of 40 apples. The volunteers pack the apples into bags of 5 each and sell each bag for $4 to raise funds for a charity. How much money do they collect after selling all the apples? So this time, I'm going to kind of work backwards and look at the question. How much money do they collect after selling all the apples? So I notice a key word there again, the word all. So I know I have to kind of thinking, you know, once they sell all of these is going to be a dollar amount. So I mean that's what I need to find out. So uh, money that is raised after selling all of the apples. That's the key focus. I want to make sure I keep that in mind. Now let's take a closer look at what we know. Well, we know that there's some people who buy 32 cartons of 40 apples. So I know that this word of is going to mean multiply in this case because one carton contains 40 apples, two cartons would contain 80 apples. So that word of is kind of a key word for me. So I keep an eye on that. It says the volunteers pack the apples into bags of 5 each. So once they buy these apples, they put them in the bags into a bag, and there's 5 in each bag, and then they sell each bag for $4. So there's a lot of information in this question. So again, everything in green is what I know, right? So instead of what does my number sentence look like, you know what? I think I'm going to actually take that away from this one and think, what is it that I need to do first? Well, I think first I need to get the total number of apples. I think I need to do that first because if I do that first, then I can start to work with some money. So I know that I had 32 cartons, and I said there were 40 of those, right? So I think I need to multiply this by 40 apples. All right. So if I do the math, 32 times 40, let's see what that gives me. 32 times 40, and offset that 0. So 4 times 2 is 8. 4 times 3 is 12. So I'm going to come up with an answer of 1,280 apples. That's how many apples I have. These volunteers have to sort of work with. Then it says the volunteers pack the apples into bags of 5 each. So I think my second step is going to be to take these 1,280 apples and then divide them into by 5. There's 5 in each bag. And if I do the math for that, 1,280 divided by 5. Well, 5 can't go into 1, but it can go into 12 2 times. That's 10. Find a difference of 2. Bring down the 8. I like that my remainder is less than 5. How many 5s go into 28? Well, that'd be 5. And that's 5 times 5 is 25. Subtract, and I'll get 3. Bring down that 0. And 5 goes into 36 times. So it's a nice even number. I like that. So let's go back here and let's add that. If I have 1,280 and I divide them up, so I'm putting 5 in a bag, I'm going to get 256 bags of apples, right? So I've got 256 bags to work with. Now, what is it that I need to do now? Well, I need to take these 256 bags. I know that they sell each bag for $4. So I'm going to take the answer from my last one, and that'll be 256. I'm going to multiply that by how much they were charging per bag, which was $4. And then I think I'm going to get my final answer. So let's do the math on this one. I kind of can scoot up to the top here. So 256 times the 4. Again, 256 being the bags of apples, the 4 being the $4. So 6 times 4 is 24. 4 times 5 is 20, plus 2 is 22. Carry the 2. Then 4 times 2 is 8, plus 2 more is 10. So 1,024. So if I go back now, I had 256 bags of apples multiplied by $4. So I know I'm going to get a grand total of $1,024. So I think I just need to maybe add on to this. And I'm going to write my final sentence. The volunteers collected $1,024 from selling all of these apples. So as you can see, we walked through this one. We highlighted and underlined keywords, key numbers. We figured out what we needed to know, what we needed to find out. And then as you can see, I've got a couple of steps here. So first, we did this. And then second was this part. And then finally, our third step was to figure out our final answer and then write the final number answer with what it is we were doing from the question. So same idea for your second one. It says a group of volunteers buys 21 cartons of 30 apples. The volunteers pack the apples into bags of 9 each, and they sell each bag for $7 to raise funds for charity. How much money do they collect after selling all the apples? So again, take your time, follow the steps, know that you've got 3 steps to get to your final answer, and look forward to seeing what you come up with.